米大リーグドジャースの大谷翔平選手は、米アリゾナ州グレンデールの施設で自主トレを行っています。フィジカル強化にも励み、重量器具を軽々と持ち上げる姿も見られました。この様子が拡散されると、日米のファンからは驚きの声が上がりました。ドジャースのライター兼アナリストであるクリント・カシラス氏が自身のポッドキャストで、大谷選手の春季トレーニングの様子を確認し、2025年の活躍を予想するトークがありましたので、日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
We're talking about Shohei Ohtani and coming back from the shoulder thing, from elbow surgery. He's supposed to hit. He's supposed to be your everyday DH. He's also supposed to be a frontline starter for this team at some point. But I wonder kind of like, let's set it up this way. He seems to be right on target from what the team is saying, if not slightly ahead of schedule in his rehab as a pitcher. They expect him to be fully ready to go hitting-wise. By the time camp is going, he's already taken his swing. By the time camp's going, games are going. By the time we get into opening day in Tokyo, get into opening day in the States and all that kind of stuff. But if he's ready to go as a hitter and he's expected to be in the lineup every single day, how does the pitching rehab work? Where does he get the starts? How does he build up innings? Where does it go? What do you get out of it? What do you do with it? That's my question. What does the rehab look like if the season's already going? Because I've been thinking about it, and I don't know how that works unless he takes some days off or whatever to drive out to Rancho and pitch a couple of starts here and there. Well, how do you think they work this out?
I did see you post this, and I was kind of mulling it over in my head, like how do you manage this? Because it's not like he can just if we're playing a series in Florida, it's not like he can just go do some sim games or go play for the Quakes or whoever.
Provided they want him in the lineup. Now, if he has to go on like an official rehab assignment or whatever, that's one factor to it. But anyways, go ahead.
So I think they're gonna. Are we gonna talk Pacoda stuff later? Are we gonna touch on it, or can we just kind of touch on it now?
We can if you want. Go for it.
It's because it's related. So if anybody didn't see, Pacoda came out with their
2025 projections,
for the upcoming season, and they do like projected wins, losses, whatever, runs scored. The Dodgers, and I don't believe in stuff like this, have a 100% chance of making the playoffs, which I think is complete crap. Like they're not guaranteed to make the playoffs. There's a world where they don't. Okay. Like barring health or there's always a world where they don't.
How many people died last year and they still made the playoffs and won the division?
Anyway.
Okay, it makes you feel better. I get. All right, I understand.
Yes, I would prefer just a 99% just because there's no certainties. Anyway, my guess is if projection systems are saying this, I'm sure the Dodgers feel like this in some way. So they're going to use the regular season as just kind of like tryouts, like more so than they've done in the past. Yeah. So what that could mean is, maybe they do make him go on a rehab stint. Like, okay, no, Shohei, you can't DH these two, or you're out of the lineup for 2 days because you got to go pitch with Tulsa or wherever they're playing, wherever's closest. Maybe they do that. Or because we talked about this glut of Cole, 99.8%. Thank you. Perfect. This glut of like pitching depth they have at the minor league level. What I could see happening is he does rehab starts basically at the major league level, which is never a good thing, but like he could throw like a 1 inning opener and then just have somebody follow him after that. Bring somebody up, throw them back down.
Yeah.
The next week, rotate somebody else as he builds up. But basically, like you're kind of not really waving a white flag, because with this offense and this bullpen, you're never waving a white flag with the firepower this team has, but using it, the Dodgers have a luxury to kind of use major league games as spring training games, and I'm sure that's not going to get taken out of context whatsoever. But like, have you seen this roster lately?
It's pretty good.
It's crazy.
Sources can confirm it is pretty good. By the way, Baseball Prospectus, Dodgers Pacoda projected to win 103.8 games. Miguel Rojas on Chris Rose rotation said, I think we win 120 games. What I has at 109. You're at 112. That's what we had a couple weeks ago. It's probably somewhere in the middle of those, but even so, I agree with you. They don't need to, like, it's nothing is black and white or cut and dry. There's a lot of gray area. Do I want to see Shohei Ohtani throwing an inning or two and kind of slowly building up during the season? No. But also, if that means you're not losing him in the lineup, sort of thing, like, then I guess, like, I trust front office, however they're going to do it. I'm sure they asked this question that just kind of popped into my brain. I'm sure they asked this question months ago, but it's going to be very non-traditional how they build them up.
Did the Angels ever have to do this? Like, because he only ever had like season-ending injuries. I don't think he ever.
I think there was one point where he came back from the Tommy John. He threw like 10 starts one year, but I think it wasn't like he was a hitter and then he came back. I don't remember who really watches Angels games. I didn't even watch for Shohei games, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if it is one of those situations where, they have to invent their own book on how to do this, I'm sure it's going to be weird. I'm sure it's going to be awkward. But yeah, you can have a bulk guy. Landon Knack, all of a sudden, is a lot more useful if he's going to be that guy, or, Ben Kasparius needing to pick up some more innings or something like that. Wrobleski picking up 3 or 4 or 5 behind 1 or 2, 3, whatever it is. I'm sure he can get a lot done as well in like live BP and stuff like that, just so he can at least build up to a good baseline of 45, 50 pitches and then let it eat from there in a game. But still, it's going to be weird. Thankfully, it's happening now, and it's not happening in September or August or something like that. Getting it out of the way early. And one of the other things Dave said, it's like if he starts in spring training, if he's throwing the ball well and like the labrum surgery is feeling good and the elbow's feeling good and he's bouncing back, the idea of that May, they might not really, adhere to it. You could say we could see Shohei Ohtani earlier. I doubt we see it, but we could see him earlier. The one thing Doc was adamant about is you won't see him pitching in the Tokyo series, which is a good idea. But
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a spring training start. Or do we still have the exhibition series? Is that still a thing?
Yeah. In Anaheim.
Series? In Anaheim, because that's the last spring training games of the year. I could see him starting one of those games. Again, give him 2 innings right there, just like, hey, this is your taste of, because you do need to see like where is his arm at. Like he hasn't thrown to a major league hitter in 20 months, something like that. It's been a long time, so I could see them throwing him in that last exhibition game and just saying, okay, you get 6 batters, not even 2 innings. You get 6 batters, or maybe once through, you know what I mean? Just to see what it looks like. Can you get guys out? And then from there, they not really shut him down, but then they go to a more unorthodox version of ramping him up. Like, there's no book on this guy. There's no book on Shohei Ohtani because there's never been Shohei Ohtani, which is a great thing if you're a Dodgers fan.
Another factor here I didn't really consider as well, GI in the comments, and I'll put this one up on the screen. It's also going to be interesting.
Do that now.
Oh yeah, I've been able to do it. It's just kind of hard when you're trying to host and do all the other things. But he does need to qualify or requalify himself as a 2-way player. So he needs to get up to a certain innings count and whatever. That's going to be kind of a challenge for the team. We'll say. But appreciate GI bringing that up. So he is going to count as a pitcher for at least a month and a half if we're looking at 20 innings. And if it's a slow build up, if we're building this dude up, 1 inning, 2 innings, a start here and there, that's definitely going to add a wrinkle to how, again, the early middle quarter of the season, whatever, is going to look like for Dave Roberts and company.
I don't think it'll be too rough. Because they can assign him as a DH until he starts pitching, at which point they'll have to option somebody. And then you have to believe that once he starts pitching, he's not going to stop. So, yeah, I guess it'll be kind of weird because, like, if you're on a sick, I could see it being a really weird wrinkle. Maybe they use him as a reliever, like a long inning relief. I don't know. There's no, like I said, there's no book on it. We have no idea how it's gonna be really weird. There's gonna be spots in this season where like, what the hell is going on? This has never happened before. That's because Shohei's never happened before. So.
Exactly. And you know what? It adds to the fun and the mystery of this team trying to run it back. There's so much talent. They'll figure out a way to survive it. But again, it's just something where if we're talking about, the storylines of a team that's going to be so good, it's going to feel kind of boring at times. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it quite yet. I know I'm beyond hyped. I know I'm beyond excited to start seeing this team play right away. But if you're just like steamrolling teams, which is not going to happen because what are they winning? 99.8% or 99.8% chance of winning the division in your eyes. It adds to the wrinkle of the storylines. You need to watch. How does the Shohei thing work out? How does Mookie at shortstop work out? What does Hae-Sung Kim look like, transitioning from KBO to MLB and all that kind of stuff. So
all the new pitchers they added. We got Roki Sasaki. What does he look like in his first year?
Sasaki yet,
I know.
We're not
Blake
going
Snell.
to. But
Can Tyler Glass now stay healthy? I had this last year. It's like, yeah, it's so good. Granted, they had so many injured pitchers that you were just watching to see, someone's arm going to fall off. But yeah, when we go into the season, I don't really think there's going to be a boring spot because there's always going to be something interesting, or somebody interesting pitching. So
yeah. I was talking to a well-known figure at FanFest about how oh man, the season's here. We got to go through this grind again, doing this kind of stuff, professionally. And I was like, that's the other thing that kind of got put in my brain is usually there's a Landon Knack start, there's a Kasperia start, there's a Wroblewski start. I'm not as excited about those. Now, as I'm calling them, there aren't as many filler episodes in this Dodgers season. You need to watch Blake Snell. You need to watch Yamamoto, Sasaki, Shohei Ohtani. You need to watch all the. When Kershaw comes back, you need to see history when Kershaw's on the mound. Glasnow to me is a great pitcher, but he's kind of like the boring dude in that rotation that I don't need to see every Glasnow start. But you gotta watch.
Gripping my arm.